today. It's the finale of Dr. Phil's 3-day intervention.
I tried.
No way you're going back out?
Hell no.
That chair next to you is empty.
Yep.
Is your marriage in trouble?
No. I think they need to split up and figure things out.
A family in crisis.
I've never heard my wife say Ariel could be another man's daughter. That hit a nerve.
When the bones are good, the rest don't matter.
This family doesn't need a remodel. It needs a tear down and rebuild.
The house don't fall when the bones are good.
Today was earth-changing, life-changing for so many of us.
The house don't fall when the bones are good.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
For the past several days, I have been working with Ariel, her mother Donna, father Ivy, and siblings Ellie and Michael. And so I needed to take extra time going through their issues to get to the bottom of it all. Now, Ariel says she used heroin for over a decade, and it left her family broken. Now, they don't know how to communicate, and the secrets and lies have built up a lot of anger from the years of chaos. She says one of those secrets is about who her true biological father is. Here's what happened with this family so far.
By the age of 19, I was introduced to Roxy's, and then by the age of 21, I was addicted to heroin. I was putting a needle in my arm 10 times a day.
Are you two drinking and smoking marijuana on a regular basis?
No, sir, I am not.
Yes.
Why is she saying yes and you're saying no? You have an addict daughter and you're sharing substances with her on a regular basis. True or false?
I'm going to say...
Yes.
I snorted heroin 4 weeks ago.
Snorting heroin is
Right,
not what I call clean and sober.
Imagine my shock.
I did not realize that my time spent on Ariel's situation was pulling more away from Michael and Ellie.
My mom was helping me with my reading problems. Then she stopped because Ariel was on her drugs.
When I was 14, Ariel had Aiden. When Aiden got up in the middle of the night crying, I'm the one who had to get up with him.
I gave this family an assignment. As I said, I asked them to write 2 pages of the story they'll tell themselves if they don't create value from this opportunity. I got 4 back. I didn't get 1 back from you.
No, you didn't.
You just blew off.
No, I didn't blow up.
Yeah.
I just chose not to do it.
I mean, I asked you to do it, and you didn't do it.
I can leave and you can finish it with them.
You do whatever you want.
For him to assume that I didn't take this serious,
When I was pregnant with my son, 2 days before I checked myself in the hospital, I was in the bathroom putting a needle in my arm. The day Aiden came, I have a picture of the dope man holding my baby while I'm in the bathroom getting high. A year after I had Aiden, I got pregnant with my daughter, and my drug addiction got worse.
we're finding needles all in the house, the bathroom, the bedroom. We found them everywhere.
You have come a country mile from where you were then. I give you huge credit for doing that. But you're still doing drugs.
Yes.
Do you think she enabled you?
Yes,
Do you think
yes,
she
we
enabled
enable each other.
you? A mother and daughter that love each other and support each other is a wonderful thing. It's not a bad thing, but it can get to the point that it becomes dysfunctional. Yes. I think you should not be drinking, smoking dope. You should not be snorting heroin.
You're worse than my wife.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm working with a family of 5. You only see 2 right now. Well, oh, here's 3. The 2 younger kids, Ellie and Michael, are off stage right now. I wanted to talk about some things that don't involve them. Is this your biological father or not?
He's not my biological father, no, but he's my father. The way I found out wasn't fair. to me, and it changed me and my dad's relationship.
Did you change the way you felt about her?
That is true.
Did you change anything in the way you felt about her? One iota. I believe from the core of his heart is that he loved you from the minute you showed up, and he loves you today.
When I was 13, I met the man that my mother had an affair with, and he said that I was his daughter. It brought up so many questions of deceit, of lies, that I didn't know who to believe. It is important for me to know the truth from my mother, for me to move on with my life and know who I am.
To this day, I'm going to look at you in my face and I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know, because I see both of them in my daughter. If you're going to look at schematics and color, well, I have a lot of light skin, lighter than me, and different people in my family. But if you ask me, when I talk to them, I don't know. And I've kept it that way. That's the way I've been. And when it came out, it's exactly what I told Ariel. I'm not sure.
Is this important to you, and why is it important?
It's not important.
Your face says differently.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying? I don't want to hurt anyone. So what is it going to do now? He's obviously upset.
That's an understatement.
Exactly.
Well, you say he's upset, and I don't know Ivy very well, but I'm a pretty good judge of horseflesh. And my read of him is that any upset that he has is you feeling that he would regard you any differently.
I don't feel that way.
Regardless of who your biological father is. Because I think he's thinking, look, I've loved you from the minute I saw you, and if you think I changed and changed the way that I felt about you, then that's just wrong. Is that true?
Yes.
At the end of the analysis, who's your father?
Ivy.
What do you need to say to Ivy, if anything, about this?
He knows that I love him. We just lost a connection. He's there, but we don't talk like we used to. It's not like how it could be. And he knows that, and I know that. We know the truth when it comes to our relationship right now. And it's not at all where it needs to be.
Let's get the
You've
picture
called
straight.
me stupid.
Let's get the
You've called
picture
me
straight.
ignorant. You've called me these things, not even 2 months ago.
Up until 2 weeks ago, she didn't know the whole story. Because I always wanted to know, why are we fighting? That's when I found out. She thought somebody else was her father, and I didn't love her.
That's not how I said it.
And I explained to her, looked at her in the face, and I said, I've loved you from day one. I've never not loved you. Since that day happened, we have not argued at all.
Because we don't talk.
That situation is over.
Well, she says it's because you just don't talk.
We have no relationship. We do not talk unless it's about my children. That is the truth.
I'm getting to that point
But
where I'm going to leave because I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here
and hear the truth.
Hear this nonsense.
Well, I'm going to say this.
I'm not.
This is where it goes.
What is nonsense?
Prior to us having that discussion, we had those moments. Since that issue was resolved, those issues haven't been. I've spoken to you. I get up in the morning.
You've spoken to me. You've spoken to me. Listen to what you're saying.
This is the kind of thing where, like I said, when we start having conversation, it gets to be this, and this. I'm sitting here and I'm saying
ignorant,
and I'm going to say
prior to that.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That's not normal.
Hold on. Tony, Ivy is done. I am done. Don't ask me to come back out here.
And this is what happens. And I want to say,
I'm not putting up with y'all.
He's the way he is sometimes. He's watched these things. They both have this, they can't do this. This was the longest. This was long. And I'm serious, Dr. Phil, this was long.
Well, all right, let's take a break. Look, Ivy's taking himself out again, and I was just getting ready to do something very important with Ivy and Ariel, but that's off the table. So we're going to make a right turn and continue when we come back.
I tried. What did I say the blame game? You're 32 years old, and you're sitting there blaming. I left this term because I'm tired of being made to be a bad person. The crap she's talking, it's not true.
No way you're going back out?
Hell no. Matter of fact, when we get back to Louisiana, she can take her scrawny ass and go on about her business.
Tomorrow.
I truly believe that I had the perfect marriage with the perfect husband.
Until U.S. Marshals held her at gunpoint and arrested her husband.
They said he is being charged with 4 counts of child rape. I thought it was a mistake. I never knew he was a predator. I never knew that I was living with a child rapist.
And now,
Brittany, it's got to be disgusting to you that he's playing the victim. You don't want this to become part of who you are.
that's tomorrow. Then on Friday, Dr. Phil Classic. Moms who can't mind their own business.
I have no problem lifting up their mattresses. Safe sex.
They say, oh yeah, she found that condom. She doesn't know about the baby.
Dr. Phil Classic. Friday.
I have always been a quiet, loving parent until that time when Ariel took a butter knife, opened my bedroom door to steal. That's when I got mad. I took off my belt and I whipped her grown 29-year-old butt.
I remember having blood. I remember he beat the crap out of me.
That was my lowest moment. I couldn't believe it got to that point.
There's a flavor to this, this sociogram here of a family. And the flavor is oppositional.
That's it.
And because no matter what I say, somebody argues with it. You argue with what I say. I think if I said it was light outside, you would argue with me.
No, I wouldn't.
If I said it was dark outside, you'd go, well,
No.
And when you say something, if either one of you says something, you do exactly the same thing with each other. It's not me. You are oppositional. And that tells me that you're going through life as a family with a chip on your shoulder. You're ready to fight about whatever. You pick at words, you play semantics, you want to argue details, but you don't want to problem solve because you got a chip on your shoulder. It's kind of like if you bump each other in the hallway just accidentally, it's like, push me, bitch. I mean, it's like, what? It doesn't take anything to set you off.
It doesn't. It doesn't take anything.
You agreed with something I said.
Yeah, no, I do. And that's why I told you. I really do believe that, Dr. Phil. For real. It's like, it is so true. We can take a restaurant menu. If there's no one there to, sort it out, you can take something and there will be someone that'll find a reason why we can't get chicken or why we can't get these kind of French fries. There will be that. And that is the hardest thing to do, to try to always be a ringmaster to the people that you love.
Yeah. What can you do? Forget everybody else. What can you do to change the dynamic of this family?
The boundaries. Again, setting boundaries, which is what I've been trying to do. That is so hard to do.
But you're adopting everyone up here on this family tree. You have all these people that are adopted up here, but you don't have a relationship with anybody.
They may not speak to her, but they reach out to me, and I try to reach back.
But listen to what I'm saying. You have these nieces that you have adopted.
Yes.
Okay, but now there are 29, 30, 32, your biological daughter 37. Have you asked yourself, what is the common denominator in those broken relationships?
Absolutely. I have talked to them about the conversation.
What is the common denominator?
A lot of them say Ariel.
Do you have a broken relationship with them?
Fractured, yes. But it's not like, again, you're trying to say we don't talk. We do talk. It's just not.
No, Donna, I'm not trying to say you don't talk. I'm trying to get you to recognize that there is a common denominator, which is you, to all of these relationships that are strained.
Right. And when you talk to them, they all say the same thing. It's what you did for Ariel. Why Ariel, Ariel, Ariel? It's never, they all have different things. But you're looking at one, I'm going to finish. You're looking at one person. You're looking at one person. I have sat here and I've listened and I've taken my medicine and I'm willing to change. I have made significant changes, but I cannot change how they feel. They're older. They have their own children, their own families. I reach out. If they don't reach out back, what can I do?
You said, what can I do?
Yes.
And I want to hearken back to your first thing you said, boundaries. And I assume that's what's motivating your boundaries.
Yes.
You're saying, I do need to create boundaries. It's very hard.
Yes.
But what you're saying is, I recognize that I need to create some boundaries in my relationship here, for example, and I'm sure other places, so these people do perceive a different availability, a different emotional availability from me. And that would improve these relationships across the board.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Michael and Ellie are going to join us, and we're going to focus on them a little bit and find out what they need, what they think. Make them the top priority here. We'll be right back. That chair next to you is empty.
Yep.
Is your marriage in trouble?
No.
I think they need to split up and figure things out.
My first guest for the new season of Fill in the Blanks has never been on. My son, Jordan, and his new wife, Morgan. What's Morgan do when she gets stressed?
Oh my God, when am I not stressed?
That's pretty much the answer.
Both of you live in town with your in-laws. How's that work?
I think we do.
Watch it.
We both like our own parents. It makes it easy to like each other's.
When your parents found out that you were getting married and
Yes.
you were having a baby,
Yes.
what was their first reaction?
She screamed. They were so happy.
Fill in the Blanks. New season on Apple Podcast and Stitcher.
I look at heroin as a person. I loved you more than myself. I loved you more than my children. I love it. And if I'm around it, I'm going to do it. No matter where I am, that is something that I had to accept and realize, because if I start lying to myself, then I'm going to go back to it.
Well, we're here today with Ariel, who says she's trying to fix her relationship with her family. And we have been talking to the adults in this situation. Ivy has decided for a second time not to join into the process. Ellie and Michael are joining us now, which I said in the beginning is the reason that I agreed to work on this. You've told us that you really had some resentment towards Ariel because she absorbed time and energy from your parents that kind of robbed you. She absorbed money that put it where you couldn't take vacations, you couldn't do things because it was always all about her, all about her, all about her. And you said you're good at holding grudges and you'll never forgive her. Then you came back in a later conversation and said, that's not really right. I mean, I want this to be okay. I want to have a good relationship. I want to heal this. What do you want in your relationship with Ariel, if anything?
Yeah, the relationship I want with Ariel is one of understanding, where we can talk to each other and that we can relate to each other, and it's not tense.
Well, you know, I observed before you came out here and that there's an oppositional air in this family, that there is a tension and people do get offended awfully easy. It's like everybody's got a chip on their shoulder, and it's awfully easy for somebody to get offended and get tense and things to not go in a happy way.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yes, I definitely do.
So it's easy to get into an argument.
Yes, definitely.
What would it mean to you if that changed? What would it mean to you if it was just relaxed and everybody could just kind of be happy?
It would mean a lot because we would all be happier with each other. We wouldn't all be fighting. We could talk about what we want and need to talk about.
If there was something that your mother could do,
I don't really know, really. To be honest with you, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. Do you like spending time with her?
Yes, definitely.
If you were going to change something in the dynamic, it would just be more time.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. You just like to spend more time with her.
Yeah, more time, and we've worked on being more open with each other.
Yeah. Do you know how rare that is to hear a 19-year-old say, I want to spend more time with my parent?
Yes. I
want to be more open with my parent, because most of the time, it's exactly the opposite. Yes. How about you?
Definitely.
Would you enjoy spending time with your mother?
I spend time with her. I spend time with her a lot. I talk about things I'm going through and talk about my new dog I got, or clothes, or my brother I have, or issues I have with school. Definitely with school, because I'm trying to work with that, trying to finish school. My reading, she helped me out with that now. We go daily read back and forth, like every morning and night. I like that a lot. Or we go outside, we just talk. I make a fire for her, warms her up and stuff like that.
Yeah. Would y'all like that kind of relationship with your sister?
Definitely, yes.
Because I don't warrant the way she's gotten educated about life, but she knows a lot about life.
Yes.
And she can tell you a lot about lessons learned and how to differentiate between somebody that really is your friend who's somebody that's not.
Yes.
Red flags in relationships that you want to stay. I mean, this is somebody with a very rich and deep background that can share a lot of things with you. You know, you said you described yourself as socially awkward. I think you're very well spoken and handle yourself extremely well. But you have a lot of wisdom to impart to them, don't you think?
I tell her that all the time. I want her to follow my footsteps, both of them in certain areas. And I try to be better for them. I didn't know they felt the way they did. When we first started this process, I heard things that I didn't hear before, that I had no idea. You know, so with everything else, this is important to me.
If there was one thing you could change in your relationship with your sister, what would it be?
Our communication.
Well, we're going to take a stab at that right after the break. Well, I'm back with Ellie, Michael, their older sister Ariel, and mom Donna. Ivy is gone. What do you think about him not being here now?
I think that, you know, he has what he's going through, and we're still going to be a family afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Do you wonder why he's not here right now?
Yes and no. Like, you know, because we talked about it before, and...
You're not surprised?
Yeah.
What can you change in your relationship with your sister and your brother?
Just giving them time, not being self-absorbed. That has been a big part of my addiction, is being selfish.
How would you feel if you heard one of these two was getting involved in drugs?
I did hear something
along
those lines, that Michael was participating in vaping. And I tried to talk to him about that, and on other things I talked to him about that he has seen me detox. He's seen me sick. He's seen all the things that I went through. And I hope that he would not make a decision like that, like I did. Will you ever try heroin because of what you've seen it's done to me? Michael, will you ever try heroin because of what you've seen it do to me?
No.
There you go.
I don't know what you're vaping or how often you've done it, but I can tell you it's damn dangerous to your health and your well-being, and I hope that's something you're through with.
Kind of. Maybe.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, and look at me when I'm talking to you. That is a very dangerous thing, and it can create problems with your lungs. It can create problems with your overall health, and depending on what you're putting in there, it can have a profound effect on your brain. This isn't my opinion. The science on this is very, very clear. You don't want to do that. All right, we're going to take a break. I want to ask Donna what she thinks is going to happen when we leave, and then I'm going to give you some final thoughts. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow.
I truly believed that I had the perfect marriage with the perfect husband.
Until U.S. Marshals held her at gunpoint and arrested her husband.
They said he is being charged with 4 counts of child rape. I thought it was a mistake. I never knew he was a predator. I never knew that I was living with a child rapist.
And now,
Brittany, it's got to be disgusting to you that he's playing the victim. You don't want this to become part of who you are.
That's tomorrow. Then on Friday, Dr. Phil Classic. Moms who can't mind their own business.
I have no problem lifting up their mattresses. Safe sex.
They say, oh yeah, she found that condom. She doesn't know about the baby.
Dr. Phil Classic. Friday.
Donna, are you the leader in this family? You are today.
It's not every day.
Because that chair next to you is empty.
Yep.
Is your marriage in trouble?
No. It's strained, but in trouble. We're going to have to figure that out. We're going to figure out if it is in trouble.
Well, here's what he had to say about it.
I love my wife, but we're just married, going through the motions as husband and wife.
Imagine going a week living with someone but not really interacting with them. It's like you're invisible. We used to pass by each other in the hallway and it was like we weren't there.
I don't even look at my wife in her face anymore. She'll come up to me and hug me, and I glance and I look away. I look over, above her, around her.
I feel Ivy doesn't feel close to me right now because there's such a gap. You're looking at 10 years dealing with someone with addiction. We didn't have time. He was working, he'd come home, he'd be tired. We were being parents all over again for a baby. You don't have time for sex because, who's gonna get up? Whose turn is it to get up?
Emotionally, Donna and I are still good friends, but I just don't feel a physical connection to be intimate. She's put on all this weight, and she is not attractive to me at all. I don't like the way my wife looks. It has nothing to do with anything. I don't like the way she looks.
I've heard that before.
Well, I'm sorry.
I know.
Exactly. I think they need to split up and figure things out.
But I'm still willing, again, to work.
You don't deserve
Thank you.
to have that said. And I'm sorry that he is more sensitive about things than that. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know this. You have to make choices in your life, and you have to have priorities in your life.
Absolutely, yes.
And right now, your top priority is sitting right across from you.
And it is.
These two young people right here should be your top priority. That's my advice. They need you, and frankly, you need them.
I do.
And I'm not saying that Ariel's not important, because she is, but she's an adult. And she's a mother, and she's going to have to come to grips with some things, and I'm going to talk to her in a minute. But I'm saying to you that, number one, you need to take care of yourself, and you need to be there for these two young people because their life is stretched out ahead of them, and they need your love and nurturance and guidance, and I hope that you will focus on yourself and on them. And it's not selfish to take care of yourself.
I've been told that it is, Dr. Phil.
It is not. It is absolutely not. And, you know, I'm going to ask Robin to comment here because I know she just listened to what Ivy had to say, and I know she feels very strongly as a women's advocate about taking care of yourself. But, I mean, you listen to the tape. What do you have to say?
Well, I'm sorry that he did that. I think it's really horrible that he said that to the camera, knowing that you would hear it, your family would hear it, and all the viewers out there would hear that when he was talking about you, because love and a relationship and a marriage is not at all about looks. And I have noticed throughout this entire series that he does think only of himself and what he contributes and who he is. So that's really how I see him. And when it's not all about him, he storms off. So in so many ways, you did not deserve that. You deserved so much more than that. And I'm sorry. And I do think that now that's a very good reason and a very good example of why it's time for it to be about you. You've been through so much, but gladly and lovingly been there for your family, and you of course are willing to continue to do that, but it's time for you to be there for you and take care of yourself and honor yourself and just congratulate yourself for who you are and what you stand for, your role as a woman and a wife and a mother. And I applaud you, and I hope that you will start today and start taking care of yourself and continue to have that glow of who you are as a woman.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I want you to hear what Robin says. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. Robin takes care of herself, and she's done it all throughout our marriage, and I'm so blessed that she has, because you can't give away what you don't have. Have you lost a loved one to a religion that you just don't understand? Are you worried that they may actually be involved in a cult or some type of religious sect that's controlling their mind and their life? If so, log on to drphil.com, email your story. If it's chosen, we'll check it out together. Ariel, you're a mother, and you're seeing the dynamic here between your mother and this family. You've got to decide what kind of mother you want to be, what kind of life you want to set out for your children going ahead. And it is a great North Star that helps you, have something to shoot for, live for, aspire to. You can bless them so much with who you are capable of being. And I said before, I personally think, and this isn't a diagnosis, but I strongly suspect that you're suffering from PTSD. And that is both a neurological and psychological phenomenon. And it is unfair for people to expect you to just be better. It's just time to be better. You've got to have help with that. And so I want to help you with that. And I'm prepared to arrange that for you.
Yes, thank you.
Professionally, to get some professional ongoing help for you.
Okay.
And I have one question, and you can answer it now if you know the answer, or you can reflect on it and then answer it. How much help do you need getting the drugs under control?
I don't get the question. Do you think going somewhere? Are you implying
That's what I'm saying. What do you need? Where you don't need detox,
No,
clearly. I know
detox
that.
myself, yeah.
I can see that by spending these days with you. You don't need detox. I'm just saying, what do you need? Do you need?
I need to work on my coping skills.
Yeah, that I know, and that I've said we're going to help you with that. But, and you think about this, if you're afraid that you're vulnerable to relapse, if you need more treatment for this, if you need that, then you tell me, okay? Because I'll step up. If you need to go to a dual diagnosis treatment program, if you need top level care and treatment, then I will step up and provide that for you. I will make that available. But that's something that I would want to do with you, not to you. It's just, you reflect on that and decide. But aside from that, we have to deal with this other thing. We have to deal with it. It is not fair to ask you to be okay if we're not going to give you the tools to be okay. And that's just stupid. To just me say, you just need to do better. Well, okay. Like I said, if we're going to take those things away, we need to put some things in place. And that means diagnosis and treatment and help with those things. And I'm prepared to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, live strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today. I want the two of you to understand that it's right and okay to expect to be treated with dignity and respect inside this family, outside this family, because we all have a personal truth. You know, we all kind of know who we are inside, and you've lived with a lot of turmoil and a lot of chaos, but you've got people that love you and are devoted to you and value you, and you need to feel valued. And I'm prepared to get you some professional counsel for this. So whether it's the family in general or the marriage in particular, that you have someone that you can talk to when you need to. And we're in a pandemic, so I'll set it up as teletherapy through Doctor On Demand, which is a company that we actually started years ago, where we'll set this up for you so you can have this when you need this. Okay? Because when you flourish, this whole family will flourish, independent of what Ivy does or doesn't do. All right. I want to thank these folks for being here. And by the way, if you at home want to have your own Doctor On Demand, just download the app. You can go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Doctor On Demand app. For more information about today's show, you can log on to drphil.com. We'll be talking about this on Facebook, I'm sure. You can go to the Fanatics page where the super fans go. And by the way, while you're online, subscribe to Robin's podcast. It would be a great thing for you three to do. She talks to some amazing people, a lot of really accomplished women that talk about really how to maximize their lives and their joy and their happiness. And I think you guys would really enjoy that. So I hope you'll do that. All right, guys?
Okay.
Thanks so much.
You.
All right.
When I go back into the dressing room, I know Ivy. He will be very quiet. There'll be no arguing, anything like that, because for me, I'm past that. I'm about healing. So I will offer to talk if he'd like to talk. If not, we will continue to get ready and go back home. Want to talk? When Ivy walked off the stage, it kind of solidified what goes on when the conversation gets out of hand. There's no communication skills with anyone. It was him today, it could be Ariel the next day, Michael the next day. That's kind of how it works. Just to say that I'm not surprised. Here's one talk, so I'm gonna talk to myself. We have a long way to go. See what happens next.
What did you think, Donna, when you saw that piece about the marriage?
Emotionally, Donna and I are still good friends, but she's put on all this weight and she is not attractive to me at all. I don't like the way my wife looks. It has nothing to do with anything. I don't like the way she looks.
Like I told Dr. Phil, I've heard it before. That's not a big surprise. I guess that's what makes me kind of tough. I kind of look past physical because I've been with him long enough.
All right. Daddy, ready? He's not gonna talk to me. When we fight, Dad walks away, as you saw, and we gradually go on and walk around without talking to each other. I've come to terms with it. I have to start focusing on me and my kids, and I can't keep holding on to things that he's going through. When I stood up there and I said it hurt me that he doesn't say good morning to me or that he doesn't show me affection that I would hope. Yes, that hurts, but I have my own life. I have my own 2 kids now, and I have to move on. And I love him. I always love him. Our life isn't hunky-dory, you know. There are many families that are struggling with this right now.
I'm going to say this. Today was earth-changing, life-changing for so many of us. Dr. Phil said one thing that I'm going to take to heart. I got to take care of myself. And that means everything. That means from Ariel to Ivy. I'm going to finish what I started. I'm going to work on me. And working on me is what's going to help Ellie and Michael. Hey, this is America. This is life. These are families. These are people. We are real people. This wasn't staged. This wasn't set up. You put people on a stage and ask questions.
Tell me why you were mad when you walked off stage.
Because I've never heard my wife say Ariel could be another man's daughter. I've never heard her say that. That hit a nerve. That's why I walked off.
So make sure you go in the room and you tell Ariel it wasn't because of her.
Oh, that was part of it. You solidified it when you said you didn't know if he was.
I said I don't know.
That's when I had enough.
There's your scoop. You got it right here. That's when he's had enough. I've just never been asked that question before, like that, you know. And so what am I going to say? I'm going to sit there and say, heck, I don't know. Why ask? You've always been the father. I told the truth about everything. And I'm sitting here and I'm still telling the truth. I put myself out on the line for too many people for so long, and I'm not going to be held back any longer. I'm not going to be standing in between any more arguments. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick myself up and work on this fat, overweight person. That's what I'm going to do. You got that? Make sure you get that.